Alright, lads and ladies, it is the evening of September the 8th, and I completely forgot I had to get one of these up tomorrow, like I promised, so, plan for this is I'm actually going to kill Amelia before going into Hemwick, usually different from the way I do things, but I am after the most echoes this time around, so, going for that. Hopefully there's not too much background noise. I have a fan on because it's a billion degrees where I am, so, yeah. So it's been around 2 weeks, maybe a little bit more since I played this. I recorded part 4 of this whole thing about 2 to 2.5 weeks ago. So I have not touched Bloodborne since then. So I'm going to be rusty, which is the perfect thing to happen with this crappy weapon. Let's see here. This is going to be rough. This is not going to be fun. So the goal for this one is I'm going to kill Amelia, then I'm going to go into Hemwick, and then I am probably going to do all of Hemwick. So let us run to Amelia. Now something worth note actually is that I have a lot of arcane, which means the Snatcher is like already walking. Very strange. I could hear him in my headphones. I'm having to record this in a slightly different way, so I hope it sounds okay. Again, there might be like the faint sound of a ceiling fan, but that's because it's 100 degrees where I am, and I'd rather not burn up while I record one of these. This is going to be a very shameful display of skill, by the way. Because, again, I have not played this in forever. I've had time to record stuff lately. Like, for once, I've actually had a lot of time over the last week and a half, but I've been taking a lot of self-care time, you know. I've been focusing a lot on myself lately, unless on the channel. Maybe it's a bad thing, maybe it's a good thing, I don't know, but all I know is that it's going really well for me, so I'm gonna do what's best for me. I'll do this on occasion. Okay, there we go. God, this headphone wire is so sensitive. I use a Blue Yeti, and God, it's so sensitive. I'm gonna have to restart that fight. Restart. Get my stuff back. That's really annoying, though. That's so annoying. Have I mentioned that I hate this weapon? I want to make that very clear in literally every single part I do. Nothing about this run is fun. There is not a single part about this run that is enjoyable. I want to make that very clear. I hate everything about this. I am suffering in my free time for your entertainment. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you appreciate it. I could be doing so many more things. I could be working out right now, which I just got done doing, but still, I could be reading a book right now, which is what I would rather be doing. Like, I could be doing so many other things, but you know what I'm doing instead? I'm suffering through a stupid cauliflower run on Bloodborne. Because, why not? Look at this. 232 damage! Oh my god, it is so bad. I don't have Yosefka's blood either. Oh, I think this is a rip. Ah! Stupid endurance fight. Hey. Now there's an idea. You see what I see? Now that just might work. I'm gonna have to get creative And that just might do it. I have a big problem in that this boss has way too much HP for me to be able to take down normally. Well, lads and ladies, there's only one natural solution to this problem. I'm power leveling arcane, so these Molotovs with the oil urn will do about 500 damage on each go. It's not horrible. The poison might can do something. I don't know how high Amelia's poison resistance is. I don't think it's 999, but I know it's high. I'm gonna have to really think about it. Consumables are only gonna work in that first round. She's way too aggressive in the second one, and I have to worry about her healing, and I have to cycle through items too fast. I'm gonna have to only use these in the first part because the damage of this thing is so unbelievably low that I'm gonna need something to help it. I'm gonna need something to help this thing's damage because I'm not gonna be able to kill her with just my damage. She's gonna outlast me. Jump for it, idiot! It missed. How did it miss? Whatever, doesn't matter. Oh, I'm so late on that every single time. I'm gonna die. Alright. That's not gonna work. She's too fast. Okay, Molotovs are not gonna work. Okay, she's got a good poison resistance. Jesus Christ! She's poisoned, but I'm just gonna keep throwing them. As long as I'm not oil running, I think I can still get Molotovs off. I think so. Okay. That poison did nothing. Oh my god, that poison did nothing. Oh, this is going to lead to me taking hits. I have to find time to throw Molotovs without getting hit. Alright. I'm so late every time! Come on, jump for it. No, I'm not doing a snot rocket counter for this one. Thought she was doing something else for a sec there. Just barely grazed me. I thought she was about to back up and heal. That's why I did that without thinking. Go for it. I'm right there to punish you for it, too. Ugh. Oh, no, you don't. Wasn't too late that time. Come on. It's about to wear off, though. Better give that up, Amelia. I'm not letting it happen. Nope, not gonna get me on that. I am gonna whiff that, though. Wait, oh. Just so we're all clear, if she heals, I'm done. So I have to make sure I don't lose these numbing mists. Because if she heals a full, like, healing move, I'm done. That seemed a little excessive, I would say. Where's that visceral? What? How did that miss? Thank you, Amelia, for being stupid. It's close. What are you doing? I didn't say you could do that. Come on. So that is not where I want to be. Let's not get greedy. This isn't a W yet. I can still die. But let's put it to bed, shall we? That's it. That took everything I had. That took 30 minutes. Oh my goodness. You know what's funny? I was really wondering if it was the right idea to put that health root on instead of my stamina one. And I'm pretty sure at some point in that fight, that health room probably saved me. That is insane. That was so difficult. And that was Vicar Amelia. Ugh, dude, I am not ready for the end of this run. I'm really thinking about going into those chalices. Jeez, man. But yeah, as I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted by just the women in this episode. It's all the women in this episode. Give me a hard time. But I have had time to do YouTube over the last week and a half, 2 weeks. And including this week. But, like, I've taken that time to focus on myself more than anything because I felt like I needed it. Like, you know, I'm finally not working a lot for a little bit, so instead I opted to have that time for myself. And again, I think I needed it, so you know, I could have probably done some more with the channel, but yeah, I think I take a bit of precedence over the channel. And besides, it's my channel anyways, so I do what I want. Let's make that very clear for a sec. It's my channel. Like that one guy who was getting super nettled over me giving sound, solid financial advice and saying, if you are financially struggling and you can barely afford to keep yourself afloat, your main bills are having a hard time getting paid, do not spend money for video games. You need that money for something else. Gaming is a hobby, it is not a lifestyle. And for some reason, this was rude and insensitive to lower class people. Like, listen. I myself am extremely middle class. I am. Like, I am beyond, and I wouldn't say beyond. I'm just middle class. I'm exactly middle class, straight down the middle. And I will just tell you straight up, like, there's plenty of games I want to play. I want to replay the entire Assassin's Creed series because I just love a couple of those so much. I want to replay all of them. But like, bro, I got other stuff I need to spend my money on. I can't go buy 10 Assassin's Creed games. Even if they're cheap, I can't do it. Yeah, there's a lot of things that of course I want, but I have stuff to spend money on. My money has to go elsewhere. I have bills that have to be paid. Oh, this is where I die. But yeah, I have bills that have to be paid, so therefore they take precedence over video games. Like, that was apparently like not a good thing to say to somebody. I know people get super butthurt when you say, don't tell me how to, don't tell me how to spend my money, but it's like, if you're gonna dig yourself into a hole, my bad, I don't want that to happen to you. But whatever, if you don't care if you get dug into a financial hole, why should I? So that PlayStation Showcase, man, it's coming up. I'm telling you, it's coming up. If I was a betting boy, my estimate for when we can expect this announcement is probably going to be, I'm going to say Monday morning on the 12th. I think they are going to say, save the date, PlayStation Showcase set for about 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Thursday, and it'll probably last for maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours. It's tough to say, because the first one they did was in June before the PS5 launched, and it was 2 hours long, and it didn't have a ton of interesting first-party stuff. Like, it had some things, but it was a lot of third-party. And then they did a big one. Oh, I killed that guy with my explosion. That's funny. And they had a big one that September. Oh, big, air quotes. It was shorter. It was an hour, but it was a lot of exclusive stuff. Like, that was where FF16 got announced. My most anticipated game, by the way. Like, it was where they announced 16. They showed gameplay for Miles Morales. They announced God of War Ragnarok. Like, they announced so much first-party stuff there. And then last year, September, they did a 2-hour showcase where basically it was a bunch of third-party stuff for the first, like, hour and 45 minutes, and then the last 15 minutes was the first-party stuff people came to see. I expect them to probably do something... I expect probably something similar to the 1-hour showcase they did, because a lot of the third-party people have already kind of showed what they have. I don't think there's too much third-party stuff floating around out there. Not now, I don't think. I think they're going to do a 1-hour showcase around a lot of their exclusives. I think there's a chance they can maybe announce an acquisition here. You know, I have always been peddling the theory that Sony is... I would even say it's a theory. I think it's guaranteed to happen. I think Sony is going to buy Square Enix. Like, they've been growing so close for so many years at this point. I think it's bound to happen. I would say it's an inevitability that they get bought. Like, I straight up don't see a way around it. I mean, dude, just look at it right now. Like, okay, first things first, I want to say with this theory, I don't think they're going to take anything off of Switch that Square has, because I wouldn't say Switch doesn't matter to Sony, but I will say that it's not direct competition. Nintendo is not direct competition for Sony. But yeah, I don't think Nintendo is a real huge concern for Sony. It's a different market at this point. Could you just die? So, like, I think that Sony would let Square keep all of their Nintendo stuff, however much of it is. I think that, like... So one thing people bring up against this is Crisis Core Remake going to Xbox. And... Oh, shh. One sec. This I don't think is that strange, because I don't think Sony cares about the middling level Square Enix stuff like that. Like, Crisis Core Remake is obviously pretty big. Like, it's better than The Last of Us Remake, that's for sure. Jesus, it's miles better. You know why? Because it's a huge visual improvement, and it fixes the gameplay. So it's miles better. But, because, like, Stranger of Paradise went to all platforms except for Switch as well, because that game was just poorly optimized and would not run on Switch. Not because that game is visually impressive, because it is not. It's just not well optimized. It would chug. Like, this is This is the Nintendo Switch trying to run Stranger of Paradise. In layman's terms. I, for one, don't think that the Crisis Core Remake on Xbox really matters, because it's a middling level thing. Like, it's not a big thing, right? Like, all of Square's major things... Oh, wow. hard to talk when I'm playing, have been PlayStation exclusive. Look at Forspoken, big budget Square game. We can meme on it all day. First of all, I think there's a scary chance that game comes out and is actually good, which is really crazy. Like I think that game is gonna blow expectations. That said, nothing is gonna save that dialogue, but I 100% think that this game, gameplay-wise, is going to be solid. Okay, so I think that Forspoken is going to blow expectations. I think that game is going to be much better than we're all expecting. Next is FF16. So Forspoken is timed exclusive. They say, like, not available on other consoles, that being Xbox, for until 2 years after the game's released. Then it can be released on Xbox. I think that Sony will have bought them by then, so I don't think that's going to happen. But, you know, you never know. FF16 is one of Square's biggest things they got in the oven right now, and PlayStation exclusive. We didn't hear nothing about, like, play it first on PlayStation. Like, that's what we heard for 7 Remake. 16, we saw PlayStation exclusive. Probably also on PC, right? But, like, I don't think that's going to Xbox. There's been a lot of copium lately about 7 Remake going to Xbox. So here's my crackpot theory I peddled around when 7 Rebirth got announced. This is a lot of Final Fantasy talk, but I need you to know, despite Bloodborne being my entire channel, Final Fantasy is my favorite series, and a lot of my favorite games are Final Fantasies. So, whatever. I was peddling this theory around the time that 7 Rebirth got announced, and I want to make this clear. I'm not an insider, right? If I was Roberto Serrano, as often as my predictions are correct, I would go around claiming to be an insider if I was like Roberto. But I'm just the guy who has watched the industry for so long that I can make educated guesses as to how things are going to go. So this is very annoying. I was peddling this crackpot theory that around the time 7 Rebirth got announced, they also announced 7 Remake going to Steam. It was previously only on PlayStation and Epic. See, a few months prior, about 3 months prior, Square Enix sold off their entire Western division. And it's very clear that Sony doesn't have any interest at all in Square's Western division, right? It is so clear. You know why? Because, like, despite them having all these exclusives from Square, all of them are from Square Enix Japan. None of them are from Square Enix, are from Western Square Enix. So it's very clear that Sony has no interest in them. So then, you know, Square sells off the entire Western division, and it's like, oh, okay, that's neat. They're looking very streamlined right now. And and that happened about 2 or 3 months before the FF7 stream, and we all know that they plan these streams out months in advance. Months. So the theory I was peddling is that my guess is that there was an Xbox port of 7 Remake planned to be announced alongside that Steam port. But I think that... One sec, trigger him to fall down. But I think that it was pulled because I think about 2 months before that happened, I think that they came in talks with an acquisition. Because if you don't know, Square Enix Japan, or Square Enix as a whole, used to be worth about $6 or $7 billion. Was it billion or million? It was billion, I think. I don't know, I'm getting my illions mixed up, but let's just say I'm right and it's billion. It's late, okay, it's late, I'm tired, and I'm exhausted after recording this for 50 minutes, oh my god. So they're worth about that much. Sony has already done a couple acquisitions this year. They bought Bungie, for God's sake. So, question becomes, how much can Sony spend now? Because I don't think I need to say this, but Sony isn't doesn't have the money Microsoft does. That's not like anything shocking, but they're not, right? They're straight up not. So that being said, that leaves the question of, could Sony buy Square Enix? Because the big thing has always been people saying Sony ain't got no money, which I can understand why they're saying this. Sony does not have the pool of money that Microsoft has. Should be around here, yeah? No, she already moved? Oh, she's right there. That's this one. Oh, she's weak. I can just do this. I think that with Square selling off their entire Western division, I think that they're definitely, like, low enough for Sony to be able to scoop them up. Not to mention, you have to think that Sony has been talking for the past year about going mobile with some of their stuff, or having mobile games. I'm pretty sure this is just to bring in revenue. You know, I myself am not big into gachas. I play one, the hit mobile game Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle, now celebrating its worldwide download celebration. If you know where that's from, God bless you. But I'm fairly confident this is purely to bring in revenue. That's what this tells me. So then, you look at Square Enix, you think, okay, so Sony obviously wants to lock Final Fantasy down. Like, there is no questioning that. Sony wants Final Fantasy only on PlayStation, in terms of consoles. They want it only on the PlayStation, and they want to make that very clear. Which is whatever, right? Like, you know, PlayStation is always where Final Fantasy has resided. In fact, now, the only Final Fantasies that are on Game Pass is the 13 trilogy, and that's leaving Game Pass this month. Does this give credits to my theory? Maybe a little bit, but, like, I'm really dragging this whole thing out, but he's over on those stairs, but the mad ones are over there. Okay. So you have Square Enix Japan, which is very clear that Sony is interested in. Very, very clear they want them. And then you have Square Enix's mobile side. Square Enix handles so many mobile games, gachas in particular. And we're about to get another one that will seemingly be good in Final Fantasy VII, Ever Crisis. I don't need to... Okay, yeah, so that's you. So then, that is the mobile side that Sony wants, in addition to just the games that Sony wants from them. And Sony, I think they know that they want to keep the Japanese publishers. Now, I am 150% sure that Square Enix would never sell to Microsoft because their games don't sell on Xbox. I'm just gonna talk about this the entire episode, but like, look up the sales numbers for FF15. Like, 15 sold at most a couple 100,000 copies on Xbox, whereas 15 in total has sold 10 million copies. Like, they're at 10 million worldwide copies of Final Fantasy 15, and a few 100,000 of those were on Xbox. So it's like, listen. You can cope all you want. It just doesn't sell that well on Xbox. So I don't think we have to worry about Xbox buying them, but I think Sony wants to get them for themselves. So I think that 100% that is a buy that is going to happen. People want two more. They want Konami and Capcom. Konami is a tough one, because Konami these days does a lot of stuff outside of video games, a lot of medical equipment and stuff. So while Konami has Silent Hill and Metal Gear, that's kind of all they have that's worth anything. I don't see them buying Konami. It's like, Konami would be about $7 or $8 billion at this point. I 100% don't see them buying Konami for two IPs. There's no way. There's no way that's going to happen. Another one is Capcom. I think that's unlikely because I think Capcom is doing too well for itself third party. I don't think they would sell to Xbox because I don't think Devil May Cry is vastly different from FF. That probably sells better on Xbox than FF does. But I think that Capcom is doing a little too well third party to sell out to anyone. I don't think that's a big concern. If you remember back in the day, when Capcom was still in... defeated Capcom is what we'll call them. Like because Capcom, there was defeated Capcom and defeated Square Enix, which happened at the exact same time. Funnily enough, there's a reason for Square. I should make a video going over this. I know so much nonsense about what's gone on at Square for the past 15 years. But like, let me just get back on track. I think Capcom is doing way too well for itself right now. There's no shot it gets bought by either party. I think Capcom at this point is too expensive for Sony. Square Enix is not at this point. Listen, I love Square. They're my favorite developers. I want to stress that. Square Enix are my favorites. I love them to death. That said, they're not doing super hot until their big games come out. You know, they got Dragon Quest 12. They got 7 Rebirth, they got 16, they got KH4. Like, they got a lot of big irons. They got a lot of big things in the pot right now. But until those things come out, they're not doing so good. So I think that right now, Square Enix is in prime condition. They are ripe for the picking. I'm telling you. Do not be surprised if in another month or so we come back to this and I'm right, because I've been peddling this for a while and I've been looking at this for a while. It's clear Sony wants Final Fantasy. It's clear to me that Sony wants the mobile games. Square Enix can give them both. And there's another thing about this. So 7 Rebirth got announced for PS5 only. But another thing that I found very suspicious, Kingdom Hearts 4 got its gameplay reveal trailer a few months ago. If you don't know, I'm a Kingdom Hearts fan too. And very suspiciously, it didn't show the consoles it was on. This was right around when, I believe, when Square was probably preparing to sell off their Western division by this point. Very suspicious, right? Very, very suspicious, because if you don't know, KH3 broke the mold by going to Xbox on launch, which was different, right? It was strange. We hadn't seen that before. And KH4 gets this announcement trailer, and it doesn't show the platforms. Very weird. The cause, I think, for this is, I think by this point there was already some talks going on. And I think that Kingdom Hearts is probably going to be PlayStation exclusive. I'm going to say, oh my god, all that hard cap is so painful. No damage increase. Ugh. I think by this point, I think Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to go PlayStation exclusive. I think all of Square Enix is at some point very, very soon. Mark my words. Take this video down as me predicting it. Nostra Carmen, edit again. But yeah, that was quite a bit of talking. It was an action-packed episode with 2 boss fights and one of them taking forever. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed my rambling this time. Like, I usually don't have much to say in these, but this time I managed to get myself onto a topic where I can just talk, because I know a lot about everything that's happened at Square Enix for about the last 15 to 20 years. I have a lot of useless knowledge on it. Because Square Enix is my favorite, like, straight up. As much as I love FromSoft and as much as I love Bloodborne, Square Enix, Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, you know, all those really, really are special to me. So, yeah. I hope you were able to tolerate my rambling about something that wasn't Bloodborne, or just that didn't have anything to do with this. I guess I will say in this, because I got off topic, at the PlayStation Showcase, I'm going to say I expect one Final Fantasy announcement, whether it's a 16 trailer, whether it's a 7 Rebirth trailer, whether they finally reveal 9 Remake, whatever. I think 100% we can expect something Final Fantasy at this event. I think they're going to show Spider-Man 2 gameplay. I think they're going to show big God of War Ragnarok gameplay thing. I don't expect to see Wolverine here. I think we're about a year too early to see Wolverine. Wolverine is still mocapping, if you don't know. Or it finished... I think it finished mocapping very recently. So, if you don't know, Wolverine is like 3 years away. Which I don't know. Insomniac works fast, so it's tough to say. Wolverine is about 2.5, 3 years away, I'd say. So I don't think we're seeing anything on that for another year. I think we'll see Spider-Man 2. I think we will see God of War Ragnarok. I think we will see The Last of Us Factions. I think we will see Lost Soul Aside, because that Twitter recently said that we will see more of that game by the year's end. I think, like I said, we're going to see a Final Fantasy thing of some kind. I've seen people say we're going to see Kingdom Hearts. You're about a year too early. You are about a year too early to see Kingdom Hearts. Maybe not a year. You're a ways too early. I don't think we're seeing that till next E3 season. I think we could see Resident Evil 4 here. I think we could see probably something Street Fighter. What else could we see? Corey's new game. Corey Barlog's new game. I keep seeing different things as to what that is. The first thing I ever said was that Santa Monica was hiring for a big new AAA IP, a big new AAA fantasy IP, and now I see that it says it's sci-fi. I would really love for them to mix fantasy and sci-fi like Final Fantasy 13 did, but I don't think they will. So I think there's a chance we could see that here, but I think we might be a year too early. So I think we could see Horizon DLC here. I think we could see Elden Ring DLC here. Trying to really think as to what we could see at this event. I don't think we can expect to see a Bloodborne anything here. Listen, the copium is palpable. But as much as I hate to say it, I don't think we can expect to see anything Bloodborne here. If we do, I'll be surprised, but I don't expect it. Not one bit. As sad as that is to say, you don't know how much it hurts me, but I don't expect anything Bloodborne at all. But yeah, so the big ones I'm going to say that will probably be there. Something Final Fantasy will be there. Spider-Man 2 will definitely be there. God of War Ragnarok will definitely be there. Lost Soul Aside, I think, will definitely be there. And I'm pretty sure, The Last of Us Factions will definitely be there. Those are the 5 I would lock in. The ones that might, I'm going to say that we might see a second Final Fantasy thing, because there's apparently 3 big major budget Final Fantasy things in the work, with 16, 7 remake, and 9 remake. So I think we could potentially see 2 things here, but I think they're going to save that and do a special stream in December. This is another one of my Nostradamus predictions. It'll be great to come back to this video when I'm right. So I think we could maybe see a second thing. I think we could maybe see Wolverine, but I think we're a year too early. I think we could maybe see Resident Evil 4 here, but I think we're about a month or 2 too early. So it's tough to say, but that's what I'm going to lock in that we will see. And yeah. So that's gonna do it. This was a lot of talking in this one, a lot of rambling. Let me know what you think. How was my suffering against Amelia? Should I not use tools like I did against Amelia, like how I used Molotovs and poison knives and everything at my disposal? Let me know if you just want to see me suffer with that. But yeah, that'll do it, I guess. Check out Worthless Rage's music. I'll leave a link in the description. It's very late. I'm going to edit this hastily, upload it for tomorrow, and then go to bed and make a thumbnail in the morning. So yeah. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think about this whole thing. Are you enjoying my suffering? What do you think about my thoughts on this? Am I right that Sony could acquire Square? Am I right about their showcase predictions? Let me know about this sort of stuff. And yeah, that'll do it, I guess. Again, check out Worthless Rage's music. My name is Carmen, but I go by Ellis on my YouTube. That'll do it. Y'all take it easy. I gotta go to bed.